Good day, good morning, everyone in Australia. We are so excited to have Kylie here from Amawaterways to talk to you all about their brand and everything they can offer to you Australian agents. And right after she's done presenting, we will do open Q&A, so feel free to put your questions in chat at any time. And that's pretty much it for me. How are you doing today, Kylie?
I'm doing well, thanks, Amanda. How are you doing? How's Idaho?
Idaho's wonderful. Thank you for asking. And so I don't want to, no further ado, let's get started. I know the agents are so excited to hear what you have to say.
Brilliant. Thank you. Well, let's get going. So firstly, thank you very much for having me on your webinar. It's great to be here. I have met a handful of Archer agents, advisors at some of the seminars and things that we've done throughout the year, and it's really nice to talk to everybody. But here's a bit of an overview of the product. There's a question and answer session at the end, as Amanda has mentioned. So let's get started. All right. If my slides will move. Here we go. So our heritage, Amawaterways, has been around for 22 years. Its families are still active in the business. We've got Rudy and his wife, Christine, so Austrian and German heritage. And we've got Gary, who is the son of the co-owner, and he is of Irish-American heritage. And the three of them have a lot to do with the business as it is today. They're very hands-on. Their office is actually in Calabasas in California. So probably not so far from your own HQ. And yes, they are very keen on making this work in the Australian market, as it's been quite successful in other parts of the world. What you also may know, for your Australian people, APT have been our current general sales agent, or our GSA, and that arrangement ends on the 31st of December this year, and then Waterways has its own standalone brand, and we are here in this market and ready to take your reservations. So this is a little map of our European waterways. There is lots of exciting river cruises that you have as a choice here. So you can sort of start at the top, and you've got your Dutch and Belgian waterways. And then moving down sort of the Rhine area through Germany and a little bit of Switzerland, you've got the Rhine, the Main, and the Moselle. Personally, the Moselle, which is a little teeny tiny river, sort of more, I'm pointing to it on my screen, realizing you can't see it. That to me is a little bit of a hidden secret river. For some reason, a lot of people don't talk about it, but it actually has the most castles and scenery from that postcard picture perfect, those sort of views. And so that's like a little hidden secret. I would always consider doing a cruise which incorporates the Moselle River from a scenery point of view. And then you can travel down toward the Rhine, going down south to Basel, and then continuing on into the beautiful Danube. Everybody knows the Danube, very, very popular for Aussies and Kiwi guests. We also have the French rivers. We've got lots of, we cover off all of the wine regions in France. So there's not a wine region that we don't visit. So especially if you've got people who are really into food and wine, France is definitely the place for them. And we also have our beautiful Douro River in Portugal. So that's a little bit of a smaller river cruise ship in that area, and lots of wonderful experiences down there as well. What you might not know is some of the other places that we have river cruises to. We have a beautiful river cruise on the Chobe River in Africa. This is the one that actually doesn't follow a set itinerary because we follow the animals as you would in Africa. And this is an amazing experience. It's 4 days on the river, on the Chobe, and then it's paired with lots of different safari experiences. You can also add a Rovos rail extension in there. There's options to visit Cape Town and other places in South Africa. So it is a really amazing and probably life-changing experience. We also have the Mekong, which will be very familiar to the Aussies and Kiwis if we have anyone on the call. The Mekong, very close for Aussies to travel to, and probably you'll find most Aussie guests have heard of this area and maybe have even experienced it. We also have Egypt, the mighty Nile River, so that's very exciting. I know there's a little political conflict in that area of the world at the moment, but actually it hasn't stopped people traveling to Egypt. It's you're very well looked after. There's a lot of hand-holding on these itineraries. You're met at the aircraft with Egypt. Your visa is done with your guide, and then you're taken to one of our 2 hotels, which is either the St. Regis or the other one I can't remember right now, but you're handheld the whole way through Egypt. It's an amazing experience. And right now there's not a lot of crowds, so you actually get a lot of the temples and things to yourself. The most exciting thing that we have is that we are introducing from March next year Colombia's Magdalena River. So we're going to be the first river cruise company to cruise on this river. So Rudy, Christine, and Gary have been working very hard to make this a amazing cultural experience for all of our guests who join these river cruises. It has been very popular so far, the Columbia River, and we seem to get a lot of inquiry about this, and it hasn't even started or launched yet. So that's very exciting times to come for next year. We have a fleet of 30 river cruise ships at the moment, and we are growing. So this is just a little snapshot of some of our river cruise ships. And these are the ones which are coming in our next, I guess, short to medium term with the Amamaya and Mekong 2026. But we do have a lot of new arrivals in our fleet, which will be arriving throughout next year. And the Amalilia has already arrived on our Nile. So why Amawaterways? We have got up to 6 shore excursions, which are included each day, and they are in small groups. We've got award-winning food and beverage. We're really proud of that. We're actually a member of a number of culinary societies. We have beer and wine with lunch and dinner, a sip and sail cocktail hour, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. The gratuities are also included. So for the Aussie and Kiwi guests, we have the port charges and also the local guide tipping. That's all included for you. We have dedicated wellness hosts, complimentary Wi-Fi, an innovative fleet. We've all, in our Europe fleet, we've got the Green Award for all of our fleets. So that's based on sustainability and innovation. So we're really proud of that. We can do solo, triple, quad, and interconnecting rooms. And there's no fees if your client wants to pay by credit card. We also have our beautiful Arma Magna. So she is one of a kind. So the reason she is so special, and she only sails on the Danube, she is double the width of any other river cruise ship. So if you can imagine 2 river cruise ships joined together, or maybe they dock together, that's actually the size of the Arma Magna without being joined. It's amazing. She has a full-size pickleball court on top, and there are 4 restaurants on board. We have our main restaurant. We've got Jimmy's, which is a family-style dining, and that's actually named after our late co-founder. That's really lovely. It's like long tables, shared food, platters, and it's a really lovely way to actually enjoy the experience, especially with some of the fellow cruisers you may have met along your journey. We also have the alfresco dining, which is at the very front of the ship. That's kind of small and intimate, lighter style menu, if that's what you feel like on that particular day. And our chef's table, which is very exciting, and I will go through that in a little greater detail soon. The Arma Magna has 50% of the staterooms on the Arma Magna are suites. So they are very spacious and largest on the river currently, because of the size of the ship. We're able to have a lot more space in the staterooms. This is a picture of one of our signature cabins. It's called our signature twin balconies. So this is not the Arma Magna. This is a lot of our other regular river cruise ships. So the twin balconies are quite special because it allows you to sit outside or inside to watch the view go by. The outside gives you the opportunity, if it's warm outside and you keep the cool inside your stateroom, or the opposite, if it's cool outside and you want to sit outside and enjoy a glühwein if you're traveling through Germany, on your balcony, and then you can actually come inside to a nice cozy cabin. If it is too cold outside or too hot, you can actually still sit inside your lovely temperature controlled cabin and look at the beautiful scenery going by. So that's why we have our twin balcony stateroom. As I've mentioned, food and beverage are very important to us. All of our food is actually sourced locally. So this is helping with our sustainability goals, and we actually source the food from the communities that we're passing through. There's no freezers on board, and there's also no microwaves. So everything is fresh, it tastes much better. It's absolutely beautiful. We know where we source our apples from, for example, and we can share that with our guests on board in certain areas. There's a special region in the Wakao Valley, which is famous for apricots. So you will see that if you're passing through that area, apricots may be a focus on some of the dishes that particular day. But it's really amazing that you can actually help the communities that you're going through from a sustainability point of view. And that also goes with our wine. And we have our beautiful chef's table. So this is available to all of our guests, and it is included in their cruise. Every guest gets a chance to experience this. they will receive an invitation in their stateroom. The stateroom will the invitation will invite them to the chef's table one evening. It's actually the same menu every single night of the cruise, so everybody gets a chance to experience this. And it's a degustation style menu. It is somewhere between 7 and 14 courses, depending on the region. And it also is depending on the chef, what he likes to cook. So if you have a chef that may be Indonesian or Asian, you might find that some of the dishes have a bit of an Asian flair. If it's a European chef, some sort of European options may pop up. So it's different every time. The food and the wine are all paired with the chef's table. So it's a beautiful degustation experience. Generally a highlight for most of our guests. Everybody gets a chance to have a go at this during their cruise. We also have premium wine, beer, and soft drinks with our meals, and they are paired with certain foods along the way. The wine changes every single day on our ships, so there is lots of different options for you to try along the way. And if you particularly liked a wine from the first or the second night and you wanted to have that, just let our staff know and they will do their very best to find it for you. We also have our sip and sail cocktail hour. So this is generally an hour or so before dinner. This is an open bar, so you can have any drink you like, any cocktail you like. We will have a list of cocktails if you are unsure what to choose. There's certain ones that we would have, and then after that, you can choose whatever you would like. You can have beer, wine, spirits, any drink, and that is available generally about an hour before dinner. It's a really nice way to talk about your day with the fellow cruisers, and then as you make your way down to dinner, you can take your drinks with you if you like. I've just included a couple of shots from our various ships, the two of the food, so just to give you a bit of an idea of the beautiful gourmet offerings that we have on our ships, and also including the pools, because all of our river cruise ships, or I'd say 95% of them, have a pool. So the one on the top right is the Ama Magna. That's the pool on the Ama Magna. And the bottom one is the Amalaya. That's the Amalaya. So that's our beautiful river cruise ships. The pools are heated during the winter. So if you do want to swim, it's nice and warm. However, the one that I went on, it was actually very, very hot. And I was very grateful that the pool was not heated. It was amazing. Also, we have amazing shore excursions. There's up to 6 included every single day for our guests. And we were also the first river cruise company to put a fleet of bikes on board. So as wellness is a theme throughout our cruises, you will find lots of different options for our guests. So within a city tour, there's different variations within the walking. You will have gentle, regular, and active. So the walking groups are, the gentle walking is for people who might be a little slower, mobility aided, and also photographers join the gentle walking group because they like to stop and start and take photos along the way. Regular walking is just the regular walking that you would do every day. And then the active walking is often if you're in a place, for example, like Passau, where there's city tours and all of that, the active walkers may walk or hike up to the castle that's on the top of the river. So that's just one example. And the bike guided tours, we have those at every port, so you can ride bikes wherever you like. If you don't want to go on a guided bike tour, that's fine. The bikes are there for you to take out into the city anyway on your own, so it's not a problem. There's also culinary experiences depending on where you are, but there's a lot of wine tasting options on some of our cruises. You might find yourself looking at a chocolate workshop in Belgium, pretzel making in Germany, strudel making in Austria. So there's lots of different culinary things that come along, and they're all themed to the regions that you're traveling through. So it's very exciting. Our tours also small groups, no more than around 12 people. Some of our competitors do have large group touring, but if we have lots of people doing one particular tour, we will just actually add another tour guide in, and we will split it so that everybody gets a nice small group to do their tour with. As I've mentioned, Wi-Fi and gratuities are included. So you can connect up to 4 Wi-Fi devices with in your stateroom. And we like to let you know that we actually spend more on Wi-Fi on the Starlink towers than we do on our diesel fuel on board. And so it gives you a bit of an idea. We know our guests really like to be connected, so that's exciting. They can be connected to their social media, to their friends and family back home, and they won't have any trouble having a chat if they want on FaceTime or whatever it is that they choose. And the gratuities are included, and that again is for our ship gratuities, shipboard gratuities, and also for the local guide. So you don't have to worry about putting your hand in your pocket for anything. We also have amazing cruise managers on board. There is nothing that they won't do to try and help make the guest have an amazing vacation or holiday, and they're with you every step of the way. And one unique thing that Amawaterways does do with our cruise managers is that if your guest decides to join either our pre or our post land extension, our cruise managers will be there at that hotel. So for example, if you're starting in Budapest and you have 3 nights there before your cruise, the cruise manager actually is already there at the hotel, staying at the same hotel as you, and they have a little desk set up. They will do a walking tour with the group, and then they will give you information on things you can do in the city. Then they will actually then escort you to the ship on the day of embarkation, and they're with you for the whole cruise. And then at the end of the cruise, for example, the one I'm using is the land extension at the end is Prague. The cruise manager then leaves and goes to Prague with all of the guests who are choosing that land extension. So it's a lovely consistency, and you have that same person throughout. It's quite a unique thing. I don't believe any of our competitors do anything like that. So that's lovely for your guest. As mentioned, beautiful land packages. We are, I think, the only cruise company that will do Mont Saint Michel or down in St Malo as a land extension. We also have one that goes Rhine Castles and Swiss Alps, which has a Lake Como land extension. That one is very popular, but by far the most popular land extension, I think, is Prague. So that would be something that starts or ends in either Nuremberg, Wilshofen, Germany, that part of the world. Prague is very, very popular for all of our guests. 95% of our business comes from our travel advisor partners. So we really are keen to work with you. As from a marketing point of view, we've got an amazing website that has lots of key tools that you can use. Let me know if you need to or some help logging onto the website, and we will definitely help you do that. Our average age range is around 55 plus. So we see couples, solos, active mindset, and also we have seen a lot of multi-gen families coming on board recently. So this has become a really big thing. You will definitely see that around the Christmas markets and also the probably July, August school holidays. There's a lot of multi-gen families. We do see with those families that they mostly have teenagers, or so maybe somewhere between 15 and 19. So the teens are on board. That's becoming quite a common thing. And so a lovely thing a cruise manager did on a recent trip that we hosted, there was, I think, 19 teenagers on board. So they looked at their manifest, lots of multi-gen families. They sent a beautiful invitation to the teenagers only in their stateroom, asking them to join a teen meet on the first evening. And so they all introduced themselves to each other. And then all of a sudden they had their own special private teen shore excursion. So mostly they were out riding the bikes most of the time, but it was just a teenage group. So they were having such a wonderful time together. And their parents also had a lovely holiday. We also have our local website, which is selling in Australia and New Zealand dollars, depending if you're in Australia or New Zealand. Our local team, our res team, is here in Sydney. Actually, I don't know where all of you are, but I'm here in Sydney, and they're here to help you. They're open from 8 until 5. There's a toll-free number. We can also help you with lots of different, putting together different itineraries. Our people have all been travel agents in the past, and so they're actually really skilled in helping find what you need and also understanding your perspective. And just going back to the age demographics, if you happen to choose a wine cruise, which is denoted by a little bunch of grapes on the brochure or on the website, the age range goes down again to around 45 age. The wine seems to skew it downwards. So lots of younger demographic on the wine cruises. We also have an advisor promotion. So if you sell 5, you get to sail free on one of our regular European river cruises. So that's very exciting. You can deposit anything for 25 and 26. I'm going to update this slide. And you can travel this year if you can do it fast enough, but you can travel throughout 2025, and we'll probably extend that through to 2026 for everybody. So get selling with that one. So just recapping, we've got generous commissions. We really do want to look after our trade partners. Final payment is only 90 days before departure. There's no credit card fees if your guests would like to pay by credit card. We've got the Sell 5 Sale Free, which is exciting. Self-for-meal rates. So if you complete the Armour Academy, which is on our trade website, it only is somewhere between $196 per person per night to join one of our self-for-meal rates. And the Armour Academy, we say it takes about 2 glasses of wine on a Friday night to complete. It's not that hard. So everybody's welcome to join that. And if you are a clear member, you will also get clear points for that at the moment, which is very exciting. So here is a couple of my own frequently asked questions before we loop into any further questions, not a problem. What's the average age of our guests? I probably covered that off a little bit, but somewhere between 55 and 59 for a regular cruise, and then a wine cruise would skew it down to around 45. Do we take children? Yes, we do take children. Aside from the teenagers I've mentioned earlier, we'll take children from 4 years old. However, in saying that, we generally find that there is not a lot of activity for a 4-year-old to do on board. We don't see them that often on a river cruise, but every now and again they will appear, and that's not a problem. Can we do triple, quad, share, interconnecting? Yes, we can. Some of our river cruise ships have triple and quad share rooms, so just have to depend, and you'll ask our res team to help you with that. And a number of our river cruise ships, including the Armour Magna, has multiple variations on this, lots of interconnecting rooms. So that's great for families. The multi-gen families love this. Probably need to get in early for some of the smaller river cruise vessels that we have from the interconnecting. But yes, and just while I'm thinking of triple quad share rooms, we actually have 4 river cruise ships in France, which actually have 2 dedicated cabins for single staterooms. Oh, actually, this is my last question down the bottom. So the single staterooms don't have any surcharge for a single passenger, and that's just predominantly on 4 of our French river cruise ships. They're denoted by a red dot on the brochure. Let me know if you need help finding that. How do we manage high and low water? That's been quite topical this year. It's happened twice, once a couple of weeks ago and once earlier in the year around April. Because we have so many river cruise ships, we're able to do ship swaps a lot of the time. So what you'll find is that we will take guests out on a shore excursion, and then their bags are all packed up and ready to go, and we move everything while they're on a shore excursion, and then we take them back to another ship in a different part of the river, which actually allows them to continue their journey up or down the river based on where the water problem might be. We were able to do that successfully in 2.5 hours earlier this year, and also move a grand piano, which was very exciting. So our teams work very hard to make it a seamless experience if it's at all possible. But sometimes it does get to a place where we maybe need to stay in a particular location for a night or two more than expected, and then we just do shore excursions for them outside that. Which cruises are the most popular? It depends on the time of the year, but you will find that if you are cruising on the Dutch and Belgian waterways in late March, April, and early May, that is tulip time. Those cruises sell out very quickly. The Christmas markets are also very popular around that time. Lots of people, lots of multi-gen families on the Christmas market, so they sell out quite a long time in advance. The beautiful Douro River in Portugal is also very popular. We have smaller river cruise ships there based on what we're allowed to do in that region. So obviously they sell out quite fast. So if you want Douro, I think you're probably going to have to look at 2026 now. And they're the ones that I can think of that come up all the time. Will people miss out on a shore excursion if they don't book in advance? They won't actually miss out on shore excursions. We have an Armour app, so 30 days before the cruise starts, you will be able to select your excursions on the Armour app. It's more of an indication for the cruise manager to understand how many people are interested in certain things, and then we can plan the tours along the way. But you can chop and change. You can do it on the day. It's not a problem. I did it myself. You might want to do a shore excursion with some people you've met along the way, and you think that'll be great fun. So you can chop and change it. It's not a problem. If there's a culinary option and we've got everybody wanting to do that, we have no problem getting extra people to help with the culinary experience or taking them to different locations. Everybody will get a chance to do that. If there is one person wanting to do a shore excursion and nobody else, no problem. They will not miss out. They will still do the shore excursion. They'll have their own personal guide. Do we have e-bikes? No, we do not have e-bikes. We just have regular push bikes on our river cruise ships. They're on all of our river cruise ships except for Portugal. Portugal is in a very steep valley, so it's not the best place to have bike riding. But e-bikes, we don't have e-bikes. Do we have single staterooms? I did cover that off earlier, but you can have a single supplement, and it is a promotion on some of our river cruises at the moment with just a 10% surcharge. And that's a great option if you've got single guests traveling. And our French river cruise ships have single staterooms without additional charge. We also have just another thing about single travelers, because there is quite a lot of them. They will get an invite on the first evening to meet the other single travelers on their cruise, which is a really nice thing that we do. And when they come into a meal, they will be asked if they'd like to sit by themselves, because some people like to do that, or if they'd like to join a group. And then they will actually get taken to a table, if they're choosing the group, that actually has an odd number of seats. So it might be 5, 7, or 9. And so they join that group, and there's not that that extra space sitting there at the table, like an empty space. So it makes them feel comfortable as a single traveler. So thank you so much for listening to me share all there is to do about Amawaterways, but I'm happy to take some questions. Is there any questions?
Well, thank you so much. And I think you answered a lot of the questions during your frequently asked questions. So that was really great. So I'll ask the questions that we did not answer yet. So the first question is, can you explain Amawaterways commission structure for travel agents? Would this be gross, or would we be doing net?
I'm trying to understand what that means, like what your commission is in
Uh,
regard to maybe paying by a credit card or something.
yeah, because some of the different suppliers offer commission within the price to their clients, and then some have you pay net, so you pay with your own credit card and add a service fee.
We won't, if it doesn't matter what credit card you're paying with, there won't be a surcharge. We will not add a service fee, if I am answering the question correctly. So you can pay with your own credit card if you like, and the guest, I'm not sure how that works though. And then we would just pay the commission back to you 90 days before at full payment.
Okay, so you guys do pay
Is that answering?
commission out. Yeah, okay, perfect. And what is the percentage rate, or also ask?
I have to just double check that, because and I will come back to you, and it might be in an email, only because I need to check, because the American company is the parent company in this case, and so it's a little bit different, but it is at least 15%, I think, but it could be more.
Perfect, thank you. Next question is, do you have any apps specifically designed for your clients when traveling?
Yes, we have the Armour app. So that's where you will also, it has actually a lot of information. You can get your daily cruiser information on the app, and you can select your shore excursion. It's also really cool if you need to find your way back to the ship and you've gone on your own little personal bike ride, and it tells you where the ship's docked. So it's actually a live living and breathing app that helps you, and you can choose to get information or not, depending on how savvy you are with things like that. But yes, the app has got a lot more information than probably what I mentioned on the presentation so far.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Next question is, what resources or marketing support does Amawaterways provide for travel agents, and what is the most effective for the Australian market?
We're new in the Australian market, so we're all still just trying all the different options that we have. But on our local website, and I will send through how to log on to the website details to somebody at the end, maybe Amanda. I don't know if you're
Yes.
in the USA,
Yeah, you can
how
send
to
it
do
to
that.
me. Yes.
Yeah, and then once you've logged on it, you kind of like request the thing, and it takes about 24 hours to kind of tick over overnight, because that does go up to the USA and come back down again. So once you're in, there's lots of marketing tools. You can do a co-branded website if you like. In fact, if I can maybe let me stop sharing this, I might even be able to show you.
Perfect.
Just bear with me. All right, bear with me. All right, now I'm just going to share a different screen. Let me know when you can see that.
Perfect. Yeah, we can see this.
Okay, so there's lots of different bits of information on here. So I've just logged in as myself. The special offers, actually, this is probably quite key. You can see these special offers without logging in. But just to give you a bit of an idea of what we've got a 20% off certain river cruises, triple summer savings on some of the summer, which is European summer options, holiday triple savings, which is the winter Christmas market option. So that's there as well. There's the solo traveler one, which I mentioned earlier. And then a few other things up to 20%. 2 for 1 land for the Mekong. And then you get additional 10% for combination cruises. So that's some of the offers that we have, just as in special offers. But now I'm just going on to the advisor portal. So this will give you a bit of the idea that you can do. There's an online booking engine. I'm happy to show you how to make a booking. The US team do webinar Wednesday. So if you'd like to listen to them chatter away, you can. Lots of our current promotions are there printable. And then we've also got marketing tools down the bottom, sales toolkits, co-branded website, and that's where the Armour Academy is that I've mentioned earlier. So all of that is there to help you. You can also use the online booking tool. It's really easy. So, new reservation. Just going to continue because I don't need to choose myself. It's a little slow. So here you can start putting in some of the parameters that you might be wanting to book. So for example, let's choose something in March to April. We'll choose Europe. I'll try the Armour Magna. I like booking the Armour Magna. Let's see what we've got. So once you've logged on to your the portal, you can actually choose to do this easily yourself. So we're just going to select this one. So the dates are in the US date, so it helps our US friends, but this is the 2nd of March that I'm looking at. So it comes up with the availability of what there is. So we've got the owner suites available, an outside balcony suite, all the different variations of what we've got to offer. So let's just choose a normal suite. And it also will tell you the promotion that we have. So at the moment it says save 20. I don't have all the different promotions loaded. I'm just going to select a suite. Then it will ask which stateroom I would like. So we'll just go with 306 because that's what it's auto-populated, but you can choose any of the available staterooms. Two guests, which I've chosen. Just continue. Add land packages. All of our land excursions are included, so we don't need to add that. Oh, sorry. Actually, back. I'm going to add a land package. Oops. Now I'm starting again. Oh, I've messed it up. I'll just continue for the sake of this. You can actually add land packages. The pre and post land will be very easy. But giving you a bit of an idea of all the information that you can add in once you have started, you can say the bedding type that the guest would like, any dietary options that they may have, medical options, special occasions. Let's say that they're going to have an anniversary, milestone anniversary, and we'll add that in for them. And we will just continue with that. if it's a birthday, you can populate it to the guest that's having the birthday. Then it comes up with the pricing. So it tells me that I have chosen Europe, the Arma Magna. I've taken a suite category and it's stateroom 306. It's given me the promotion of 20% off for the cruise savings, which is a promotion at the moment. But sometimes you can stack some of the promotions, which make it really cost effective for the guests. It gives me the port charges, the cost of the voyage fare, and then it gives me a breakdown. I don't get any commission on my booking, so it doesn't say anything there, but it gives you a bit of an idea of what the costing is. And if you hit continue, it will let you know when your deposit is due and when full and final payment is due. So my deposit of $600 per person is due on 7 days from my reservation, which is 7 days from now. And then the final payment is due on the 12th of February next year. So 90 days out. Okay. So does anyone have any questions about that? If I go further, I then actually physically make a booking and I don't want to do that.
Oh, perfect. Thank you for the walkthrough. That was really, really great. I think that helps people
Thank you.
become more attuned to what the website offers. And someone in chat said the website is very comprehensive.
Yes, there's a lot of information on there. I mean, I've only got, I think I'm almost running out of time now, but there's lots of information. Happy to do other training and tap into some of the little gems that are on the website. But you can walk around, have a little look yourselves once you've logged in properly. But it's really easy to use. It's user friendly. You can use the online booking tool if you want to. It is live availability, so that might help you if it's after hours and our res team are not there. But they're more than happy to have a call from you, so we don't mind. We're not trying to make you use the online booking tool.
Perfect. And then the last question that we have here is, what are the benefits for travel agents organizing group bookings with Amawaterways?
That's a really good question. So we have lots of different variations of group, but I guess the most common one is just what I would call a regular group. So that's like 10 passengers or more. So once you've got I guess 9 passengers in your group, you then get the tour conductor discount. So I guess that's what your aim is with a group. But in order to do that, it's really easy. You just need to let us know which cruise you've chosen as a group, and then send that information to us. We will send you a group contract. And in order to hold that contract, we ask you to pay, it's either 35 Australian or 45 New Zealand dollars per person to hold that group contract. It doesn't physically hold space, but it will actually give you access to building that group and then eventually getting the tour conductor discount as well. There is a group discount which does get put onto the guest pricing as well. And firstly, if you don't get to your 9 or 10 people, we will still let the guest have the group discount. That's not a problem. But secondly, if you do get beyond that, then once you've got to 20 people, it becomes a stateroom that's free, and you can use that in whichever way you want, whether it's a tour guide that is actually hosting the group or you host it yourself. There's lots of different ways to do that. The second way that you can do a group is a part charter. So that's taking an allotment from our inventory, and actually you have a group contract where you do actually pay to hold that allotment. So it depends on the cruise that you're choosing, what the cost of that would be. And then you own those options. And so we will help you actively sell those options, but nobody else can sell that away from you. Whereas the first one that I've talked about will, it's not holding space as such. And then the third option is taking a full charter. So sometimes people take their full charter, then that ship is yours. We will absolutely let you do whatever you like on the ship. You'll have special personalized tours. We can work with the group that's on board, and really it will be tailored to everything that you want if it's a charter of a ship. And that does happen as well. One other thing that just made me dropped into my mind, another thing that has become a bit of a thing in Australia as well, but I think it is in the US, they have these wine cruises. So we've got specialty wine cruises, which are denoted by the grapes, as I've mentioned earlier, on a wine in our brochure or on the website. However, if you have a winemaker that you want to work with in Australia, somebody that you think is quite personable, who maybe can do public speaking well, you could then host, or that person could host, a wine tour. We've actually already had success with this in Australia in the short time we've been open, and we're about to do it in New Zealand as well. We've got a guy who is a winemaker, and he's hosting his own group next year on a cruise, and it was very easy to sort of pull together. We did it the first group way that I mentioned. We didn't hold space, but actually it sold quite easily. And the way that worked is that we put we would arrange a flyer for this particular travel agent who was managing it. And then we put the flyer in the boxes of wine for that guy's wine society people. Every time they ordered a box, they opened it and there's a little flyer like, come and travel with me on a wine group. And that's how that came about. And really, really successful, that we locked in quite quickly and it sold itself. So if anybody's got connections with wineries or that sort of thing, reach out to them, because that's actually a really great way to do a group. I digress. Any further questions?
Well, I love that. That's really great. It's great to give ideas as well. And then also just thank you for answering all the questions and doing a demo of the website as well as presenting on everything. This was a really amazing presentation. And I think the agents are going to get lots of gems from this. So thank you so much. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we close out, Kylie?
I will send a how to log on to the website and get your yourself up and running on what I've just shown you. Is it best to send it to you, Amanda, or
Yeah.
somebody in Australia that can share it
Yeah.
with everybody?
Yeah, so we have we actually already have you guys up. I can just make sure that it's correct, but we have a page for you on our internal website, and it has
Okay.
Australia Amawaterways, and it tells them how to register and all about your company and whatnot, and then it'll
Oh,
have
brilliant.
now this video on there. So
Brilliant. Also, yeah, so we do have a step-by-step guide on how to register on the website, because at times it becomes a little bit problematic,
oh,
but we get there. Do
perfect.
you have that guide on your link to the website?
I'd have to check, but you could send it to me, and if we don't have it up, I'll make sure to put up the one you have.
No problem. But I can also share my details. I am here. There's three of us that do my job. So I look after New South Wales, ACT, and New Zealand. And Christine looks after Queensland, WA, and Northern Territory. And we've got Kim down in the south. She looks after South Australia, Victoria, and Tassie. So depending on, but we're all happy to help you. We're all one team. Definitely happy to look after you. And
Awesome.
I will email Amanda about the commission, because I just need to double check that based on you having the parent company in the USA.
Perfect. I would love to update the page for you guys, make sure everything's all good so the agents can get registered, check that out, and get ready to go selling Amawaterways.
Thank you. Thank
Well,
you for having me.
yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you guys for joining us in the chat as well, Australian agents. And I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. Thank you again, Kylie. And
No worries.
thank you.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.